Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Grayson Chrisley gives confession. Savannah having kids. Grayson Chrisley has given a confession about Savannah Chrisley having kids. This is something he has thought about for his sister. However, what he had to say shocked everyone, including Savannah. The two were close after she had to raise him and Chloe. So he knows her probably more than anyone else right now. There is a lot to unfold and uncover. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Savannah Chrisley raised kids, even though not hers. Savannah Chrisley did have children to raise. When Todd and Julie Chrisley were sent to prison, she took custody of her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. This was a big step for her as she had never raised kids before. However, she did a great job and everyone has applauded her for stepping up. This is something no child expects to have to do. However, Savannah stepped up in a lot of ways that are harder than people think. She did have a boyfriend during this time, Robert Shiver. However, the two ended their relationship and she has not spoken much about it since. Fans thought this may have been the one she could have settled down with. Grayson Chrisley gives shocking confession about her having kids. Grayson Chrisley has given a shocking confession about Savannah Chrisley having her own kids. He started off by saying he would not be shocked if she did not want kids after raising her siblings. He also thinks she is wondering how it would be to have kids that were actually hers, not her siblings. However, if she does have kids, this is how he thinks it will go down. Savannah loved his comment. However, Grayson told her that he has faith in her and obviously thinks she would be a good mother. It seems as though Grayson has two different sides that he could see. Either Savannah is going to be fine with not having kids because she had to raise her siblings, or she is going to have her own kids because it will be different. Regardless, Grayson thinks that she will get married and then have kids, but only because she is having kids. Grayson Chrisley had always been the quieter one in his family. Unlike Savannah, who made headlines with her fiery honesty and boldness, or Chase, who often turned their lives into a comedy sketch, Grayson usually kept his feelings tucked neatly away. But lately there had been a shift. The Chrisleys had endured storm after storm. Todd and Julie behind bars, Savannah stepping into the role of parent for both Grayson and Chloe, and Chase trying to balance loyalty with independence. Now, at 18, Grayson felt the weight of a truth he could no longer keep to himself. It happened one evening on Savannah's back porch. The air was thick with summer humidity, and fireflies danced in the trees surrounding the property. Savannah leaned back in a rocking chair, sipping her sweet tea, while Grayson fidgeted with his phone, opening and closing the same app without really looking at it. He had called Savannah outside because he needed to say something that had been pressing against his chest, like a secret too big to hold. "You look like you're about to confess to murder," Savannah teased, noticing his nerves. "Spit it out before I start guessing." Grayson gave a shaky laugh. "It's not murder. It's just something I've been holding in, and you're probably the only person I can tell." Savannah set her glass down, instantly serious. "Okay, you can tell me anything." Grayson hesitated, his blue eyes clouded with uncertainty. Finally, he exhaled. "I don't know if I'm cut out for all this, the cameras, the attention, the expectations. Everyone thinks because I'm a Chrisley, I want the spotlight. But I don't. Honestly, I'd be fine if I just disappeared into normal life." The confession hung between them, heavy and raw. Savannah tilted her head, studying her little brother. She had suspected for a while that the fame wasn't sitting right with him. But hearing him say it out loud was different. "You don't have to perform for anyone, Grayson," she said gently. "Not for the cameras, not for Dad, not for me. You get to choose your own path." Grayson's voice cracked as he replied, "But it feels like I don't. Dad's always had a vision for us, and even though he's not here right now, I still hear his voice in my head. I don't want to disappoint him, or you." Savannah reached over and grabbed his hand, squeezing it firmly. "Listen to me. Dad might be strong-willed, but he wants us to be happy. And as for me, I don't need you to be on a TV show to be proud of you. You've already been through more than most kids your age, and you've handled it with grace." Her words broke something open in Grayson. He blinked quickly, fighting tears. I want to live a life where people don't know my every move. I don't want to have to share every mistake I make with the world." "Then that's what you should do. And you know what? That's not disappointing. That's brave. Because it means you're choosing you." The two of them sat in silence for a while, listening to the crickets hum. Grayson felt lighter, like he finally let go of a burden. But then Savannah surprised him by shifting the conversation. "You know, hearing you talk about wanting a normal life, it makes me realize something about myself, too." Grayson looked at her curiously. "What?" Savannah leaned back, her face illuminated by the porch light. "I've been so focused on holding this family together, on being strong for you and Chloe, that I've put everything else on hold. But lately, I've been thinking about the future, about having kids of my own." Grayson's eyebrows shot up. "Wait, what? You're talking about kids?" "Don't look so shocked," Savannah said with a laugh. "Yes, kids. I know I don't even have a guy right now, but I've realized that being a mom is something I want more than I've admitted. Raising you and Chloe has been the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's also made me realize how much love I have to give." Grayson's jaw dropped. Savannah Chrisley, the one who swore she didn't want to deal with dirty diapers or screaming toddlers, now wants kids. "Life changes you," she replied softly. "I used to think success meant fame, followers, and money. But now, success would be watching my own kids grow up happy and safe, without all the chaos we've had to go through." For a moment, Grayson just stared at her, trying to imagine his older sister with a baby on her hip. It was strange, but it also made sense. Savannah had practically been a mother to him already, guiding him through heartbreak, school, and late-night breakdowns. If anyone was equipped to be a mom, it was her. "I think you'd be an amazing mom," Grayson said finally, his voice sincere. "You already are one to me and Chloe." Savannah's eyes shimmered with emotion, and she reached over to hug him tightly. "You don't know how much that means to me, Gray." The night deepened around them, and the conversation turned to laughter and memories. They talked about Nanny Faye's wild sayings, Chase's latest antics, and even Todd's stubborn lectures. But beneath the laughter, there was a new layer of truth. Grayson had admitted he wanted out of the spotlight, and Savannah had confessed she wanted a family of her own. It was as if both siblings had taken a step closer to their real selves. Later that night, when Grayson lay in bed, he felt a strange mix of relief and hope. For the first time in a long while, he wasn't carrying his secret alone. He didn't have to pretend he loved the cameras. And maybe, just maybe, Savannah's dream of having kids meant their family story wasn't defined only by the struggles of the past, but also by the love that would carry them forward. As for Savannah, she sat awake in her room, scrolling through pictures of Chloe and Grayson. She knew her life had been unconventional, messy, and often painful. But she also knew this: family had been her greatest teacher. And one day, she would build a new one. Not perfect, not polished, but real. For now, the Chrisley siblings leaned on each other, their confessions strengthening the bond that fame, scandals, and distance had never managed to break. And in that truth, there was freedom.